Guys, I just want to tell you really quick. I have a podcast, and I guess at the end of every June, we pick our favorite movie so far this year, and this was my number one. This movie is seriously one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. So seriously, thank you so much for your time.
Oh my God, thank you.
I love it so much. I want to start out by talking about the fact that I love that the story, the loop, takes place in someone else's wedding. Because obviously a wedding, it's one of the most important days for two people. And then for everyone else, like, it's a really fun party to go to. What has been an amazing, incredible, important day in your life that would almost kind of suck if someone else had to live through it over and over again?
Well, wow.
That's wow.
People at my wedding who were in a relationship where they needed to decide whether or not to get married would not have wanted to live every day at my wedding.
I'm going to go with my wedding.
I have no glib answer for that other than maybe my wedding.
I don't really know how to answer that question. I haven't had a wedding yet or anything.
I think like weddings, they make people feel a lot of big feelings, but especially because you're witnessing like a milestone in someone's life. You'd sit there, like, you know, if you're like not in a good place, you're like, and about my life, what am I up to? Like, and it like, just really makes everyone feel a lot of stuff.
It would get a little tedious, I think, from most people's point of view, other than myself and my wife and maybe our parents, you know, would get a little tedious.
I mean, I guess maybe like college graduation would probably suck for everyone else to sit through. But I think it kind of sucks for everyone to sit through, even the people graduating. So
yeah, that's a long day. That's a really
long day for everyone.
What do you think it would be like if someone had to relive you winning an Oscar every single day?
Really tedious. Listening to my, what is it, 45 seconds they give you before the band starts playing and kicks you off the stage. It was, I'm sure that 45 seconds would start feeling like 45 minutes after a while.
You know, I will say I did love your speech, and every time I call my parents, I always think about whenever you tell people like call your parents, don't text them, call them. So if anything, it would just be a daily reminder to call my parents.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
Well, you know, thinking about sort of these big pictures, one of the things I loved about this movie was that when it was over, I kind of started like having these like philosophical questions I was asking myself, and like these hypotheticals, these what ifs, like, you know, what would I do? And what are some of the things I would try out if there are no consequences? When you guys are on break in between takes, or, you know, you're going to dinner at night, did you sort of take the premise and start having these deep sort of philosophical what if kind of conversations?
Yeah.
Some of them ended up in the movie because like the tattoo thing Cristin came up with, and we were laughing about it so much, and we were like, oh, we should just shoot it. And so we worked it into the schedule one day and just sort of stole those shots really quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
We did have a lot of deep conversations on set.
We did. Remember when we said, like, I think I said one, let's all talk about, I kind of was joking, but I was like, because we were all sitting in this tent in the middle of the night.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
And I was like, let's all talk about the thing about we're most embarrassed by. And then someone in the cast, I was joking, and someone in the cast just came in with the most like sweet, honest, and then it went around and everyone did share these really
I know. Yeah, I think what you fear the most that people think about you or something.
Oh, yeah. Like,
question, and someone said that I'm boring, and then we went off of that, or like that I'm a fraud, and then we just got so deep. So I don't know that it
said something incredible, and like I think maybe it was the tone of the film that got everybody into that, like, you know.
Yeah.
I was, you know, it was one of those parts where I kind of came in and did my thing, and I probably worked, 8 or 9 or 10 days out of the whole shoot, a day here and there. So really, Andy and I were just goofing around and, joking around in between takes and talking about the big difference between working with Andy this time and the last time I worked with him is that now he's a dad too. So, he was telling dad stories, and we didn't get into a lot of the sort of metaphysical, philosophical aspects of the movie, but I'm sure, well, I know that he and Cristin did, and he and Max, the director, and, the writers, and that's all in there. And it's really a fun aspect of the film that adds a real depth to it that, I mean, you see an Andy Samberg movie, you're going to get some laughs, but this does leave you with something else, something more to think about, which is great.
One of the things actually I loved about this movie is that obviously Niles has been in this loop so long that we get really quick glimpses of things that he has tried out, just to sort of say like, hey, like, what the hell? what is one that you would love to like flesh out a little bit, that you would love to know, like what is the context of that? Like, how did it get to that point?
Well, there was a lot of sort of half serious discussion about like how the circumstances arose that he first went all the way out into the desert and got trapped.
Yeah.
You know, in early iterations of the script, kind of dialogue joking about how we weren't showing that. Mm-hmm. And then it led to discussions about should we be, and ultimately we decided letting people's imaginations kind of run wild was a lot more satisfying.
As we wrap up, obviously I feel like so many people in the cast have experiences working in television, and because of that, you've got to, you know, understand the value of really like fleshing out a character over multiple episodes and multiple seasons, something you don't always get to do with a film. If you could dive into Roy over multiple episodes and multiple seasons, as you've gotten to do with other characters, what are some aspects of him that you'd like to maybe try to flesh out a little bit?
I would love to dive into Sarah's her past. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I would love to jump back and see sort of like her, the ways in which she's gotten to where she is. I mean, obviously, you learn some of it, but like, you know, really delve into why she's in the state that she's in when you meet her.
Oh, very cool. I would watch that. I would watch that show. Yeah. Andy, what about you?
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. Like what led him to get to this point where he's feeling this way about himself, and the wrong turns he feels he's made, and how they actually went down versus how he views them, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that we all do as we get older anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Right. For sure.
Wow. It's almost unlimited in terms of potential given the, you know, the scenario of this movie. So, I mean, we see glimpses of his family life, which would be really fun to see more of. And one of the things that I often try to wedge into films is names, family names, or names of friends.
Really?
And they actually let me name my two fictional kids after our two actual kids. So, spoiler alert! I hope my wife and kids don't watch that because they don't know that yet.
Okay.
And to all my cousins in Illinois who are watching this, don't tell.
We will, yeah. Well, luckily for you, these things are embargoed, so I think hopefully they'll have seen the film by the time this gets out. But seriously, Mr. Simmons, it's so funny. I've been trying to get an interview with you for years and haven't been able to make it work, and we get to do it twice during the pandemic. So seriously, it's good to see you again, sir. And hopefully the next time we chat, I'll get to be in person.
I would love it. Thank you.
All right, take care, sir. Good to see you again.
You too.
Ladies, seriously, I love this movie so much. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you guys have a great day today.
You too. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Guys, so I cannot thank you enough for this movie. It was genuinely I think my girlfriend was doing something that night, so I watched it by myself, and she got home later that night, and I said, we're starting this over. Like, you have to watch this. So I watched it twice in one night, just so she could sit down and watch it with me. That's how much I love this movie. So seriously, thank you
so much.
You guys are the best. So seriously, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. I hope you guys stay safe.
Thank you. You too.